Good evening, everybody. It's 18:31. I don't think anybody else. Yeah. I've got signs. I don't think anybody else is coming, so we'll start. So thank you to the 5 of you for turning up for this meeting. We'll start with 27/0101 to receive any apologies for absence.
Jim has sent his apologies.
Yeah. So we've got Jim, Chris, Mark, Melissa, Nick, and Phil. I've also apologies. Thank you. 27/0102 to make any declarations of interest. Have we got any interest? No. 27/0103 to consider any applications for dispensations. Any dispensations, everybody? No? 27/0104 to determine which items, if any, from the agenda should be taken with the public excluded. If the Parish Council decides to exclude the public, it will be necessary to pass a resolution in the following terms. To consider a resolution under the Public Bodies Admission to Meetings Act 1960 Section 1 to exclude members of the press and public in order to discuss item number such and such. This item will be then discussed with the press and public excluded. Has anybody got anything that they'd like to discuss? Moving to that category? No? So we're okay. 27/0105 to agree any variations in the order of business. Are we okay to proceed as we are?
Mm-hmm.
27/0106 public participation. Up to 10 minutes will be made available for members of the public to raise matters relevant to the business of the Parish Council. There are no public here, so we'll move forward. 27/0107 to consider commissioning a new Parish Council specific website and online booking system. So, take a look. Which number is this one? This one?
No, that's 91. Yeah, I think that's the truth. It might be the first one. I might actually should put in order. Yes, that's booking one and then, yeah.
Right.
It's this recommendation, this one.
Well, that's the recommendations. So
I've seen that somewhere.
Right, okay. So, we've got it. Who wants to start? Okay. Nigel, the floor is yours.
So I like these reports. I think they're incredibly helpful, especially when I've got a number of quotes in different files. These reports are good at tying them together, so I can have, this is the one that we're going with. I think in these reports, the one thing that I would say is that, well, there are a few things that I would say. One of them is that they need sanity checking after they've been done. So I don't think it makes a difference to which way we should decide this. But for example, in the Parish Council booking system review, the Hall Master quote says that it does not embed into the existing website. Now, on the front page of the Hall Master site, it says any platform, any device integrates with your website. Now, I don't know whether that's a case of there is some other reason that it won't integrate. But I would just caution that after these reports have been done, they need to be checked, because AI is very good at producing plausible but false information. The other thing that I would find useful, in particular for the booking system is just somewhere in the report which cost centre is going to be charged to. So again, that doesn't make any difference to the way that I'll be voting tonight, but it'd be nice from just a record keeping point of view.
Should this be accepted and move forward, you're asking which cost centre it would be?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
That's
Understandable.
And I think also it would be useful, if we decide to go ahead with this, to say, obviously we've got a bottom line costing for website provision, and we've got the hall booking system. Given we're part way through the year, and we may be ordering in, say, a month's time or something, it would be worthwhile having just a number. How much are we going to save in the current year?
With the booking system, we don't currently have one, so that isn't the end of the world to not
Yeah.
have this in. The website, as it stands at the minute, we're paying like a one-off thing, about £400 a year at the minute, just for them to do the domain, basically, and host it for a year, doing nothing else with it, unless we ask them to add another page of that, which we're not going to do because we don't want this website. So at the minute, that's what we're paying. We're not doing anything with the booking system. I still do it on manually, which is fine for the minute if we want to look at going further details of the booking system and try and have a look. We even thought, I had a quick look, some of you can drop a Google Calendar on the website, which might just be an easy thing
Yeah.
to do, you know, as opposed to paying for.
So what I'm
like
trying to get to
system.
is that some of the prices that I've seen have been per month, and some have been per year. If they're per month, it'd be nice to have a figure, how much is this going to cost in the current financial year, because then we know how much we need to save from this year's budget to
So
balance.
I believe the Parish Online isn't a per month thing. They do the 2 or 3 other councils that do those. So you've got like the fee with a discount. The Hugo box is a bit of like build your own, and then which could be a bit. And Graphica is quite expensive.
Yeah. As I said, it's not going to.
So
I mean, these seem like
it's
good
just a
decisions
standard, like, our website's
that you've
fine.
taken.
Yeah.
I would say once the council has decided, I think it'd be worthwhile just drawing up. Here's where in the budget is in the red. Here's where it is in the black.
So tonight, what we're saying is that if we...
I'm happy with these
Yeah,
recommendations.
if we decide to press forward, it's on the proviso
Yes.
that certain conditions are met.
So with that in mind, I'd like to propose that we go with the Parish Online and with the lemon booking system.
Just try and put my ticks.
Okay, thank you, Angela.
I just want to ask, obviously I think it's a fabulous idea about the new website, but what decisions were made to select those 3 companies to go with?
So we looked at parish specific providers. So Graphica is the current one, so yes, we'd ask them. So the current one. And then the other 2 are so we do that like the smaller parish councils.
Right.
So yeah, we'd asked a couple of others, but we haven't got that to find out. But then Nick has said since, but obviously we've done it next, that there's a K23, but they did used to do our website years and years ago before we changed to Graphica. I don't know if you do any.
Don't know, maybe
I
not.
can't remember. And they're the ones who did that Ukraine thing
Yeah.
for us.
I think
So,
you-
but I mean, if any, it's obviously it's up to you, like if any of you want to do more or look at more webs, you know, more providers and anything.
But I'll just, we'll have you, do you want to add a bit more to that? Or?
Just a couple of things.
Yeah.
One, I would probably like to see a local quote,
Right,
a
okay.
local business in
Right.
there. And the other thing is a migration into a new system to see if that is in any of these. I've not looked properly, but it basically means that all the information from what we've currently got can be migrated, otherwise you'll just lose it. You can't just switch it off because you'll just lose all that data. So you might need to, I don't know whether we need to, because it's got a lot of information on from previous meetings, but I should imagine that we'll want to migrate all the information. All the
Yeah,
documents.
absolutely, 100%, yeah.
So some of them companies, we need to check whether they do that, and that will, it just means you've got the existing documents. It's basically like, when we changed ours over, it's like burning your house down and moving and not telling anyone where you've gone. You just lose all that, you just lose everything.
That's important. So, thank you, Mick, that's really important for me. Sorry, if you don't mind, I'm just going to Stuart, because Stuart's going to...
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm obviously I'm the dinosaur in this lot. I wanted to ask on one question, what under the legal and compliance implication, what on earth WCAG 2.2 AA is on the second page under number 7, because it was leading me into think of basically what Michaela's just said about, she's called it migrating. I was going to say history of what we've got there already, because yes, I have been party to, as Emma said, it was somebody else before the Graphica, and we had trouble moving stuff across and we lost stuff and things like that, because well, people said they did, I don't know whether they did or not, and I'm not sure, like I say, we're being have we asked Graphica if they can actually improve their way of working towards us?
Said that basically our website is so we literally need a full rebuild. We can migrate the stuff over,
Yeah.
but this is what these are, is for a full rebuild, 'cause it's so out of date. And the W that you say
Right.
is the website accessibility, which ours doesn't.
Right, that's
Ours still falls
accessibility,
into
is it?
Assertion 10, so we are technically, we need to be working towards that. And if the website's not accessible, then we're not.
Well, that's what I would say. Everybody has said, who are dinosaurs like me and other people, that things aren't easily found and all the rest of it, and I don't know where things are and whatever. So I was going to say, if this parish online is specifically like towards parishes and everything that Emma's found, the other question was, where are they based and that, but nobody seems to bother where things are based these days, because it's all online. They can be in Timbuktu and still do it for you. As such, it's Emma and the clerk and that has got to live with it, deal with it, to do the bookings and that. Are these what you require for doing your job? Was my question, more than anything, Jason, on that one. You know, if they looked at what they need to do the job.
Michaela?
Can I just add on to that, what might be quite a good idea is to maybe go back to these companies with a bit of a wish list and have a look at sort of what's not working well at the moment and what we want. So like homepage newsletters, we want to be able to take payments for bookings, and then go back to them with a bit of a wish list. Do you do this? And then look at it that way.
They do provide the booking systems, what we need, and things like that.
So you've got
We'll have
some,
meetings
yeah.
with Graphica and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you'd be happy with that sort of system?
Yeah, anything's better than obviously
Right.
what we've got now. It's really difficult to.
But you've got to work it into, you see, someone else has got to look at it.
Yeah, it's really difficult. I can upload certain things, but then I can't make changes to some of the pages. I can't have pages. I can't. It's just so outdated. It's got to be
That's what I was
8,
asking.
9 years.
I wouldn't know how to
old,
start,
yeah.
so don't worry.
So, and the booking system, obviously it doesn't have one, but we just thought it would be useful. They wouldn't obviously book directly, it'd be, and then a request through to us for us to check, because obviously our accounting system is an annual live thing, which is Realtus, and they're extremely expensive for them to pop it onto our, and they're just charging more money, whereas at least if we get a request, we can go in and go, that's fine, I booked it for you, because we can't just have people booking wholly and then cancelling it, and then other people can't use it, and so we want to make sure these are people who actually want to book with our home, not just
Making
just
it.
having it.
Thank you for that.
Tony?
Yeah, just a couple of things, probably following on from Michaela as such, it says that it's parish compliant and there's parish councils using this. I don't know whether we could get some specific feedback from the specific parish councils, how it works. I put a tick next to it, so I'm very keen to hear whether it does work. So if it is specific to parish and they're successful and there's more positives, but they may identify a few problems that they've had that well, that might be an issue. I did notice that content migration is included in the Parish Online one. So the question of whether that meets the need. The other thing I'd say is that, you know, we've been meandering along with our old website. This isn't a sprint, and I think it's useful to, you know, it's not a massive amount of money, but it's money to be spent, that we just take our time and make sure that we've got it right. But I put my tick next to Parish. You know, I know Nigel and President, I was going to second, but I do hear, you know, your inputs and think that perhaps the other parishes may be able to give us feedback. I'm sure the company, it says, the parish said they'll know the ones that they service and look after.
Well, okay, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Sometimes they will. They'll sort of like put you onto a website so you can view what it could look like. So you sort of work with them and log into your system and have a look. I mean, I'm conscious that companies will, you can sort of have a company charge you 500 and some 5,000. They'll all offer different things. I'd just be sort of maybe just making sure that it's got everything that we want it to do, because it's a massive job, it's going to be a massive expense, it's a lot of work. Some will just be basic systems, you've got to be quite skilled in doing it, it takes a lot of months of work. I'm just thinking that we maybe sort of should have a wish list, make sure we've got everything on it, and then go back to it, rather than just picking something just because of cost or because it's been recommended for somebody else. It's what they have it do for them might be different. I mean, what are your thoughts, Emma, when you spoke to them? Who do you feel more confident with? Because she imagine they'll be doing a lot of the uploading.
The problem being, you've got a certain one of these, they're very slick, obviously provided websites, so like the BBC are very big places, and then you have the other companies who, you know, they just do this for a living and they don't necessarily have the sales pitch. So, yeah, I wouldn't, based on speaking to them, I wouldn't necessarily choose one over the other, because I'm very aware they do different, and, you know, they've got different levels of experience in what they do. And this is the thing, isn't it? They're so different in how much they're charging for. It's not exactly the same thing, but it's not far off. You were saying, Nigel, before, you know, you have your builders around on one side one extreme and one's the other, and it's like really difficult, isn't it, until you're kind of in the middle with them, which is what found last time we did the website. Until you're kind of in the throes of it, it's quite difficult to judge. But maybe asking to the councils, I have got some names of that, two of them. It's on my laptop downstairs, because I was looking at booking systems and you know, the ones they'd set up. It might be worth them, mightn't it, just getting a list of ones that they do and sending them out to you if you want, and you can just go on and have a look at these websites that they've created, their booking systems, what you think it looks like, if you think it's easy to navigate, and then I could ask the other parish councils if they have like major issues with it, like can they not get hold of them if there's like emergencies and slow down, and that's what we're conscious of. I know we do use local, but that's the problem we had many years ago, is that when it is somebody on their own, running their own business, which is absolutely fine on their own, but when you need them, you know, it's not the same as having a company who's got more employees. Like if they're on holiday, you can't get your website up and running, do you know what I mean? Yeah, that's the problem.
The full package with it.
Yeah.
Everything goes down.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for like you in my own business, I'm all for it, but sometimes with certain things in life, I do think, you know, you need a bit of a, you know, but certainly with a website, you know, having somebody go, oh, I'm not going to be here for 2 weeks and go on holidays, and then you've had a massive catastrophe with your website within that 2 weeks. It's like,
You've lost 2 weeks.
yeah, what are we going to do, you know? Somebody starts spamming the website,
Yeah,
someone's going to be in trouble, you know?
Okay.
So it's we can ask for like assurances for that, though. We can just ask them to give us a massive, huge brief. I mean, I've got one for Africa because like I said, it's
I think a wish list of
massive,
what you want
huge
to
brief.
do and how you want it to go and what support you want.
Yeah.
How user friendly is it? How easy is it for you to upload? There's a lot of questions that you could go back to each of these with, and then.
Yeah, I mean, I think probably Hugo Fox when he said they're very much pushing the self-build bills, which to be fair, like you know, and then a building, it's hard and it's a a lot
Well,
of
that's what I
work.
mean.
It's not easy to try and do
Technical
it.
guru.
No, it's not. So,
Right, okay, I'm just conscious that it's just, I've got Nigel's hand up and Mike's hand, and then I want to say something. So Mike, you go first, please.
Yeah, I was going to second Nigel's proposal, but listening to what Michaela said in particular, which I think is really useful, I'll just put a counter proposal that we provisionally accept what Nigel suggested, subject to actually getting evidence that they can migrate everything in the way in which we need. And so we can let them know provisionally, if that's what we decide to vote on. I would certainly support Nigel's view, because I completely agree with it. But we just need a little bit of assurance, I think, from what you've just said, Emma, and certainly what you've just said. And possibly an email just formally asking them some questions that they could then respond to. And if we're satisfied, we just go ahead and do it. But subject to that, I would make a council proposal on that basis.
Okay, thank you. Nigel.
Yes, so there were two reports that we were given. One about the website hosting and system that was being used, and one for the room booking system and what system that would use. It sounds as if the reports that we've had have not got the level of detail that councillors need before they can take a decision. Why don't we say, Michaela, can you provide a list of what would be the kind of minimum level of detail that we need to in order to take a decision? Get that to Emma, and then it's a little bit of a research project, and then we can have this report back.
Yeah. I think I probably need to do that with Emma.
Yeah.
Because she's going to be doing the majority of it.
Does that sound sensible?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
does.
sensible.
It does actually, yeah. How I was going to finish was is that I think there's a consensus here that we do need to move forward with the website.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. It's dated, it's difficult to deal with, it's difficult to use. So that's, we're all on the same sheet. We're also saying is that we probably just need a little bit more information before we pick a provider. Is that okay? So if someone gives me an amended motion to that, and then we'll vote on that.
Yeah, so come back with a new report after consultation with Councillor Daniels.
And Emma.
Yeah.
Working together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yes.
second that?
Second.
Second.
Vote on it.
Anyone in favour of that then?
Yeah.
That's carried. So are we okay with that then, Emma? Smashing. Thank you very much. That's Emma.
Well done, Emma.
Yeah,
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 well done.
Very well. Wish list.
Do you have a time frame for that?
Pardon?
Time frame for that?
Yeah, let's say, I don't think we can get that, how quick can we get that done? Have you got any others lined up?
no, if I do a real basic list, because we really need to get the list done quick to get it out to them, don't we, for them to...
Yeah, if you do put basic listing out, add to it, maybe I can phone calls and then add something up.
If we say hopefully of August, at August meeting, if we can get reports.
It's a fortnight away, that, isn't it?
July
July.
meeting.
End of month, July meeting.
3 weeks.
It's been great, so oh, yeah, I thought so. What happened?
What, 3 weeks?
I think it might be actually because it's late, isn't it? It might be right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that is 3 weeks.
3 weeks to sign off.
Let's aim
For the July
proposal
meeting.
in front of the full council, the July meeting.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is,
Worst case scenario,
It's the 7th.
we don't get there, we defer, we move it back.
Fine.
But let's put a
It's
target on the
3 weeks,
table.
I thought it was not done.
Yeah.
It's next week.
Okay, that sounds really positive. Thank you very much. Thanks Emma so far. Right, so it was 270108 to consider commissioning a tree survey for all the trees in the Memorial Park. Well, I'll start with this. As you know, I am a tree lover. But we did do this some years ago. We should have records of that somewhere. But like I just said, it was some years ago, and I think some of these trees have aged, potentially deteriorated at the same time. So for me, I think it's essential that we consider getting a full health report of all of the
Health and safety
trees.
issues.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, second that.
They're only my thoughts.
What was the payment that went out last year for £800? Was that nothing to do? What was that for? So it was just trade, it was just down to trade.
It'll be
Purchase of
farming,
trees.
or it could have been either the purchase of it or been emergency works for trees.
We
There's
did
one
do
at the
emergency
minute-
work when one came down
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
So
was
it
it.
was nothing to do with.
at the
No.
top end.
And there is one near the bowling green right in the corner that needs coming down as well. but it's
It needs
a nice
sorting, that one, yeah.
So, and it's been many years since we've got a
I'm backing Jason in
Yeah,
respect
I think
of,
it's
we did
it's essential
one
that the
time.
council is aware of the conditions of all the trees in all of the parks really. I'm not quite sure why we just limit it to the Memorial Park, actually thinking about it. Have we,
So Coombs has just done one,
right, has
the
it?
village trust has done that,
Right,
they need
okay.
to have work done, they're doing what they're doing.
Right. Have you got a copy of that?
No, they're not doing it yet.
All right.
So I'll get it back, because it's their player into it, and then
Yeah.
no trees within the boundaries of the pit,
Dug holes.
which isn't ours, the
No
dug
holes,
holes,
no. Okay.
and he uses it on.
Right, okay, that's fine. So it is in the Memorial Park only.
We,
So.
we used to be very fortunate on this one with the Borough Council that Monica Gillespie, who actually signed one of these because she's left the Borough Council and set herself up now as such doing trees. So she's probably got a load of stuff from what the trees were from that last time that you're talking about, Jason.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like we've had. So
Absolutely, yeah. So,
we probably just need to say yes to having the survey
yeah.
and having it on record that we know where we're up to, whichever one of these we choose. You know, I'm agreeable with yourself
Okay.
under that.
Thank you.
It's just who we choose.
Okay, thank you. Nigel?
So we have a cost centre 1337, amenities, plants and tree cutting, with £4,000 in, which, as of the last meeting, has not had any money spent out.
So that's 1337.
So I guess what we're deciding tonight is whether it's over around £1,000, isn't it? Whether a quarter of that should be for this survey. Does that make it easier?
Well, it does. It's a relatively straightforward decision for me. I think it's a must at this Parish Council.
Under health and safety.
Absolutely. You know, the last thing we need is any incidents involving trees.
But we have got money there that wouldn't do it, is what Nigel's
absolutely.
saying.
Right. Give me a motion.
Well, it's just which one.
Yeah, so it's kind of, it was,
To use cross centre 1337.
it was the peak tree, which is that Monica's?
I think that's
It
Monica's.
is, which is £960. I propose that that be taken out of,
Cross centre 1337.
yeah.
Okay.
Seconded, Chair.
Seconded. All in favour?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Carry. Right, okay. To receive updates on actions or deferred items from previous minutes. Right, okay. 26/424 to consider the purchase or lease of a commercial van for the park staff. Nick Hill, Mark Dowell to provide updates.
Don't know if we've got one. Have we got
Nigel.
one?
So we've got an officer report, which
Yeah.
is in the
Yeah.
from tonight.
We've got it.
Now, again, what I would say about this report is it's useful, it frames the process. I'd just say that an eye needs to be scanned over it after these are produced. So, for example, in stage 1, which body is dealing with this?
Finance Committee.
Finance Committee,
Up to 10,000.
delegated authority of maximum £10,000. And I don't believe it has that
No, it
delegated authority at the moment.
No.
And then we've got in financial information under stage 3, we've got this depreciation here. I think it's tricky at the best of times trying to decide what depreciation to take against assets. In terms of the parish council's AGAR statement, we don't depreciate assets, and so they just sit on the asset register with their full value. However, I think it is a useful habit to get into when budgeting, to say this asset we should think of as getting less over time, or a chunk of this we should think of as being paid for each year. And if we're going to do that, then I wouldn't say taking 15%, which is probably how much the book value changes over the year. I think it's worthwhile instead going for a cautious approach, going and having a look at what HMRC allows under the tax rules for depreciation of vehicles, which is depreciating the whole value over 4 or 5 years. And then you can kind of see, if you were to purchase a £10,000 transit van, and then it had running costs each year of £1,700, then if you were to depreciate it over 4 or 5 years, according to HMRC, then that would cost you annually for the van £3,700 to £4,200 a year. Now, the reason why I'm bringing that up and sort of saying what is the yearly charge for this van is that I think because of the AGAR statement having to have this undepreciated amount on it, it makes parish councils think that these are one-off things. Whereas I think what the parish council is deciding when it purchases this vehicle is to then have a vehicle over time. Yeah. And so we should be thinking of the vehicle increasing the running costs of the parks by about £4,000 a year. In general terms, I think whichever way is the fastest way to get this thing decided, then we should do it.
Can I just answer part of that for Nigel's benefit? You might remember part of it on this one. Jill had started under the Finance Committee, and I think you're quite right, because the Finance Committee had asked a very, very similar question, not just particularly for depreciation, but Jill was trying to put a spreadsheet together, and we haven't had it on the finance yet, so I don't know where she's up to with it, in the respect of when things would become their end of life, when we would need to replace them, i.e. the tractor, and we were started with the new mower because of they worked on engine hours as such of how much running it's done, and you know at 5,000 hours it should need this doing, at 10,000 hours it should need that doing, and we were working out roughly the things we've got, when was the end of life going to be for which year, in the respect of when we'd need the money to replace it. So how much depreciation would it cost over the years? She hasn't got that far. We never got to the final answer on that because we've had a change of council and everything. So yeah, if we speak to Jill or the finance carried on with it, yes, we should be able to have that, which would add to what you've just said, Nigel, on that respect, because we'd worked out that the mower should have 5 years life in it or whatever, and we were going to try and work out the trailer and all the different bits that we've got like that. So obviously the van would then come under that as well. So it's not nothing great shakes that is not known about, but it does need putting down, like you say, on that one. And I think we were working on that 15 or 20% because, like you just said there, a van at £10,000, 5 years, £2,000 depreciation a year, it's 5 years. Whatever you get for it is the deposit on the new one, and you've got the other bit, which is your 4 and a bit per year. So you're not far wrong with what the finance were working on there, roughly.
Okay.
If that helps.
Yeah, well, yeah, thank you. Right.
I think what Nigel said is eminently sensible. I mean, I think the approach is something that we should do all the time. With depreciating assets, I think we got off to a really good start in the last couple of meetings, and so well done to us all really. And I think that is a point well made, and indeed the point you make about which budget heading it's coming from, which and if we can get into that sort of thinking for each item that we discussed, because we can look at how much we've allocated in the budget and then plan accordingly. And that if we do that as a matter of course, I think your contribution has been extremely helpful. And I think it's this type of thinking that we've just not adopted previously. And I think it moves us a long way forward. So thank you for that.
Tony?
Yeah, the bit I'd echo from Nigel is the way, and I don't mean this in rushing because this has not been rushed. You know, we've been talking for some time, but the quickest way that we can get that vehicle to those individuals from an health and safety point of view, from a work point of view, is of the essence. That, you know, this is brought to a conclusion. I think that's my only bit about it. As long as these bits you're talking about are dealt with, I get that, no problem at all, because they should be. But I'd still just like us to be very, very quick with our work on this to get this brought to a conclusion. Because we're all in agreement that the vehicle's needed. We've said that so many times.
Well, are we not in a position to bring it to a conclusion now?
I'm not sure that we are. I'm not sure that we are actually. Given what Nigel's just said. Unless you're going to counter that, Nigel.
Look, I think this has gone around the houses. We're now pretty clear what vehicle we want,
Yes.
what the budget is,
Yes.
Yeah.
and
That's right.
that, you know, there are going to be 3, and I think we should delegate an officer and a councillor
Yeah.
to go away and purchase this thing.
Yeah. Well, I've got to be honest with you. My own feeling is that this is dragged on for 5 or 6 years actually, not just
Yes.
a few months.
Yeah.
And it's a bit of a crime that we've asked them to do what they've been doing, to be fair. So I'm keen to get it finalised ASAP, but I do want it done properly.
It's the aftercare with it as well.
You know, and if you're comfortable with making a decision tonight with everything that we spoke about in the last few weeks, then you can make a recommendation. If you want to say, give us 2 weeks, 3 weeks, come back to us at the July meeting where we'll have a definitive plan in front of you about we're moving forward, I'm also happy to take that.
I think if you bring it to the July or August meeting, there will be a different spec for them.
Do you really?
Do how many vans have you gone through?
Well, I think we've accepted the specification. It's a 3-seater, capable of pulling 2 ton, right? That's nailed on. We've accepted that because that covers all of the operational needs.
It's got to be decided to keep the tools.
I don't think that we start changing models now. That's been discussed with parks. That's been discussed with people. That's where we're at. That's where we're at.
It's just where you get the vehicle
that will
from.
not change between now and the start of July.
Are you comfortable going away with an officer either?
I am actually, yeah. I am. But
Let's just do it.
Yeah.
There's 5 of us here. I think we've talked about it now.
Yeah.
What we've been talking about is obviously purchasing the van, but ensuring that we, the second one, getting an extended warranty. So within this 10,000, get an extended warranty. Like your AA, it's £280, like however many 100-point check before you buy it, that sort of stuff. And just going around having I've identified some stock for that just literally sells XPT fleet, so you know they're going to service. You know, it's just things like that. But if you want me to add this in, well, I've got my name in it, I think looked at this, but add it in to say that, you know, these are the things that they're going to ensure that they do before they purchase it as well, then I can do that. If you want it.
Just to bring forward, Emma, you've been liaising with individuals about this. Who is the councillor that's at this
Yeah.
moment?
He's very much
Sorry?
Nick is very much pushing it.
He's the one.
There
And
we
I
are.
think he'd be very happy to go.
Yeah, well,
with
then I propose that it's councillor Nikhil with Emma and we get on with this and get it purchased.
Before, just be mindful that Nick works full time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So one of the problems is that when we start asking councillors who are currently in employment, they've only got a limited window.
Yeah. It's just having the people with the knowledge.
Well, I understand that, but if it's a case of just fine tuning the finance side of things, would you not do that, Nigel?
I guess someone is going to go out and look at the van.
Yeah, well, I would hope
Say
that.
maybe Mark or
I
Nick
know
to
the
be.
colours of vans.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm in the same boat. I've got to be honest with you. So,
Well, I was
I'm going to ask you
I'm
me.
conscious of time. If we now ask Nick to step in and take this on, which is fine.
I just one question that can go to Nick or it can go to Emma, whatever, when they're looking at the vans and whatever, because of where she said she's looked and that. Some of these vans actually come with the wooden lining in, because your husband put the lining inside his works van and all the rest of it, so you don't wreck the inside of the van when you're throwing all your work tools in. Some come ready lined because they've been lined before, or whether we want our staff to put some lining inside and
I don't think we do.
I don't know, it's something to ask, that was all.
Okay, right. Look. So the decision really needs to.
I mean, do you want a group, like, obviously, I'm a bit like Nigel's, like, we watch Shiny.
Yeah.
I like it.
I'm in the same boat.
Yeah, me.
So, I mean, do you want me to see if we can get, like, Mark, Phil, and Nikki's about?
Well,
So,
yeah,
Mark-
we
One
need.
of the three of them. Personally, I've got a lot of confidence in Nick.
Yeah. What I'm getting at is that we need a proposal in front of us at
Yeah,
the
it
council
goes.
meeting in July with this is the vehicle, this is the cost. In front of us. This is great. It's fabulous. But like Nigel was pointed out, there are a few tweaks needed to it. But as a starter for 10, it's very, very good. So something that we haven't produced in the past. And it's great. So,
I saw you.
If they
Emma was going to
said that,
say
yeah,
that.
so if we, say we all mince down, look at these vans and we identify one, they're not going to hold it for us. So, I mean, I can put on the report, but then if it does go, I mean, I'm not really know, I don't know how many people are buying vans, but, you know, it did go. So this is all I'm worried about, is saying that this is the exact van, but we could maybe, like I was saying to you, just add in saying it's going to be highly
Does it
likely,
need
it's going to be one of
council?
these, one of these, one of these, one of these.
Could Emma not do it with Phil?
I would prefer one councillor and then
Yeah.
some staff.
right.
Yeah, I don't think it's fair for me to just go, well, because it's sharing it, I don't know about
Phil's full-time employed, isn't he?
No, I'm talking about Phil in the park.
So the
He's the one that's going to drive it.
Okay. So the proposal is that we're going to ask Nick to assist Emma and Phil, and to bring a decision with costs to the July full council meeting. We haven't got a meeting before that.
No.
In the interim, if they find anything, we're not put a deposit. Because I'm saying they're not going to hold the vehicle that they find. By the time we come round to making a decision, we could have lost it.
And it's 3 weeks away, yeah, things move quickly, don't they?
I would just say that if they get to that position, what's the council going to do apart from say yes? You might as well just
Get on and buy it.
Yeah.
Okay.
delegate authority.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're getting to the point where we delegate
Right,
authority.
so that's the proposal. From
Delegated authority
delegated authority
to one councillor and staff.
to one councillor, members of staff, including the park manager,
Seconded.
and to report and to
Up to that £10,000.
All in favour?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well done, everybody. Oh, really need that one for
Fine tonight.
Sure.
them.
I'm just going to add in the
Good.
minutes, like, obviously that they've shown us extended warranty, multi-check, and like a HPI check thing as well.
Yeah.
As well done.
Yeah, we don't want it to be a stolen van. and-
No, it's not
Ah,
best,
there
is
we
it? Do you know what I mean?
No, that's fine.
Those are haven't
Just for
been changed.
completeness, that's coming out of cost centre 1365.
1365. You want it? Cost centre 1365.
Which is
Yeah.
amenities parked van cost.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
1365.
we have been
Well,
putting,
that's
we've been
very
putting money away for it.
I'm moving these cost centres, by the way. So to consider, next one is 27063, to consider changing the IT systems and telephone provision. See the major difference. Who wants to start with that? Well, shall we start with you?
Oh,
Jo-
would
Jo-
you?
Yeah, tell me what you think about
So
it.
basically, I changed from BT to BLI a couple of years ago because obviously BT were charging us a fortune. So we've got Trusted IT, who is the local one that we've used and we have used for years. We were paying them basically £600 a month now.
I think
And it's
they're
just been going up and
expensive.
going up and going up. It has to. It's like, now it's like, gosh, it's £600 a month now. And obviously, with these websites, I'll just throw it back. We're going to change like a .gov so you get the free council emails, like we're being charged for council emails every month. So, we're looking at this whole system. So Challenger, they provide currently our mobile for the park, and we've been with them for a number of years as well. So we've had a good chat with them. They provide, apparently, everything that we get from Trusted IT, but for heavily discounted. So the Be Online, Trusted IT, they'll do everything those two companies currently do for
Thank you.
2,000 a year.
Stuart Sam went up first, actually.
Well, obviously, I'm going to ask the question, have we been anywhere else as such to see about it? Because at the moment, I know I've changed it home, and I know Jim's changed it home, what it. This Ronius are doing the wireless, the under the footpaths and everything, and it's the no wires, it's all the fibre optic stuff and everything.
They do. We
Do they actually do it that we could use or we would want as a, or don't they do it for companies or businesses or whatever? Because the thing is, all I happen to know is that your speed's suddenly gone up from what was the BT at 28 megabits to 500 at half the price and all the rest of it, and everything's so much quicker and so much easier. And I'm wondering if because we're talking about changing the IT stuff as well as such with them, what we need to support our websites and that at speed and everything, are they going to provide,
Thank you.
Shall I just get back on track
Yeah.
with respect? I think Emma's come up with, I listened carefully to what Emma said, made sense to me, that you've got an organisation who are going to do it with a big discount. And you've looked into it, and from what you've said, that makes sense, doesn't it?
yeah, I got the renewals for the broadband and telephone,
Yeah.
and obviously it's going on.
Right.
And at the same time, I got the renewal for the mobile, and I was just chatting with him, and he said, we actually can provide all of this together.
Right.
It's not what companies that can. So I said, right, set me up a little meeting, and we'll see. I didn't expect them to come in with that kind of figure, to be fair. I was like, oh, that's sort of
Right.
isn't it? So I was like, can you actually provide me with what? So I clarified everything with them, that includes the council emails,
Right.
which again we would drop if we get a new website anyway,
Yeah.
we go to .com again.
Yeah.
So as far as I've been told on his emails and with the meeting we've had with him, they can provide the same quality of support and systems I'm getting now.
Right.
Is it 2,700? It's a lot.
It sounds to me that's
Be Online don't do that, so a lot of the other companies they solely
A
do
good way
like the
forward.
phone and the broadband,
Quickly.
they won't do the IT stuff.
financially makes sense. It sounds to me like someone could put that forward as a recommendation without going off on tangents about what about if we did this, that, the other. We need to get this done quickly. I propose we do what Emma has suggested.
Thank you. Michaela.
I was just going to ask about procurement policy being followed, only because it's a term, it signs for a 36-month contract. So although it is a saving, it still works out £10,709.64 over 3 years. Fixing. So does it matter whether we do over 12? I don't know is the answer, so I'm asking just to make sure that we have followed and got 3 quotes. I don't know how it works. It is fixed contract.
It's a fixed contract for 3 years.
So it works out 10,709.
Which is over.
So,
Yeah, that I was just thinking that myself when you were talking about, is it a 1-year contract, 3-year contract?
It's
And would that impact on our procurement side? Because it's over 10,000, isn't it?
Well,
I'm not fully
I haven't
up
got
to
any problem,
speed.
but I'm sure it's for a singular item, and I don't know it's got time frame, you know, I could have
Okay.
it from me, to be fair.
it's,
I
it's,
think
sorry.
it's more for, like, I can't remember, I've got it, go and get it.
because it impacts budgets from 27 and 28, it's important that it comes to a full council meeting. The procurement policy is currently 3 quotes for over £5,000. Now, I'm in a spot because I'm not sure if that's £5,000 in one hit. Nigel.
I was going to say, this has been hanging around for a while, and every month we don't come to a decision, we lose £200. But I don't see how we can pass it, because you've rightly said that it's over £5 and we need 3 quotes. Sorry.
Again, no, it's the right thing to do, again, so we need, can we get 2 further quotes for full council meeting on July to satisfy the procurement policy? Are there 2 more people out there? Now the thing is with this, if Challenger are the only one that can provide a comprehensive package, you can actually say other companies unable to match the deal. So I know we seem to push a lot of way away here tonight, but again I think we need.
It's this thing, isn't it? Because our when is it? Else it just say quotes of 5,000.
It does,
It says
it does.
contracts. It doesn't put any kind of time, so it doesn't say a 3-year contract. It doesn't say anything. It just literally has a figure. It doesn't say that you would break that down and say it's actually only 2,000 a year, so it's not gone over 5,000. I mean, maybe this is something that our procurement policy needs adding in.
Yeah,
It basically just says contracts above 5,000.
Well, look,
It's a bit vague, you know.
yeah, I think we're all in agreement. Again, we're all in agreement tonight that this needs to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think that we just need to fine tune it and come back with an answer to the full council.
Fine.
And
Oh, it's your market proposal.
yeah.
I think when people are looking at procurement policies and procedures, I think it'd be worth making sure we've got everything. The only other thing I was going to say to Emma is B2B business and quite good, and also go back to the original provider, because sometimes if you tell me they'll match that figure.
Right. So
Like Sky do and
the
they
proposal,
don't they? Yeah.
proposal on the table then is that we ask Emma to go back, see if she can get 2 more quotes,
And second that.
bring them to the full council at the beginning of July, where we'll vote.
Yeah.
Seconded.
Yeah.
All in favour of that then, Roger? That's fine. Thank you, Emma.
Does that need a cost centre that you'd like to fill?
Well,
We've been doing that really well, and it's been helping me.
It will.
It's one, following that one more person, I don't know.
But yeah, it would be good if we can.
Telephone and there is
It's
a
at the top,
one.
yeah, it's like one. It'll be split between the 2 if it's going to be IT and phone, because they're on different lines.
So what would you do? What we both ways, are you?
Well, like if we did go with them, then
Yeah,
we
yeah,
should,
that's okay.
there's 2 lines there.
Well, actually, gentlemen, you don't need to look for it because I'm not
Okay.
going to be able to find
Right,
that. Yeah,
thanks.
no, but if you can get that into the minute, what got some sort of control, that would be great. Thank you. Right, okay, 27/093 to consider the replacement of the wet floor surface at the Memorial Playground, 17 papers. Right, okay. I'm going to give you the floor, Tom.
Okay, I've been down there over the last month and seen a rapid deterioration of that play area in a certain area where we replaced it before it's gone. But more worryingly, I've now seen another, in this rain, another rise of at least 2-3 centimetres up at the corners, creating a massive, massive trip hazard on there, to the point where you'd almost be talking, is the playground safe? That's the first thing. I think that's the case it is. People just need to be careful, and we perhaps need to let in the public know that be careful of the trips, but it is essential from an health and safety point of view, and for that playground, which is so well used, that we get this sorted, and the only way we can do that is by a complete resurfacing of that, not by playing around with it. We'll be buying into another problem in another 12 months' time, and I feel that we should be looking at getting that surface completely redone. But that's my own personal...
No, I appreciate that input, thank you, Tom. Has anybody else got anything they want to say?
I think when it's children's play area, I don't think we can compromise by just sticking a plaster on things. I think it needs to be done. But have we had a report from the Parish who's also said? I remember reading something who...
So, Phil expressed an opinion that he thought it was probably brown, that he thought it would be better if we replaced it all rather than patching. I came back to him, to Jill, and said, I'd like that information given to me from the provider, because obviously if you can repair something for £2,000 rather than £5,000, which again, you know, brings the procurement policy into play, we should look at that. But you know, it is safety of children in mind. So I believe the other burning question I've got is that the quote was based on the surface being 40mm deep, but I don't think we've actually investigated so that the price might go up if it's more than 40mm.
I might be able to find out what, because it only went down, it's at the end of its life, so they say it's about 10 years, it probably is 10 or 11 years now. So I'll be able to find out, because I'll have the
Right,
original.
okay.
So
that means the price, give or take, and I was a bit uncomfortable with the fact give or take, but my recommendation would be that we need to, sorry, just before we go down that road, I then found myself considering, is it the right surface to put down? Have we considered an alternative surface? Is there something else that we can...
Because it is only going to last.
Yeah, because it's going to last. I mean, the winter's particularly harsh, freezing, you know. Are we putting the right surface?
Well, if I remember correctly, and I'll tell you with it all, each of the pieces of equipment have got the play surface under them, whereas when you go from one to another, it's normal tarmac or whatever, because they've actually bounded it when they did it. So there is an edge boundary to work to for each of the safer surfacing things. So my question was going to be, because this one that we're talking about is under the whizzy round swing that goes every which way, that we had the problem where the spinner broke and that. And that's the centre, where it's dripped in the centre, that's where it's gone. That's why they were on about patching it and not going, you know, to the edge of it all. But the thing is, my question was going to be, if that's gone and it's at the end of its life in the 10 year, what about the bits that are under the swings or under the other bits? Are they going to be going as well for the, you know, next year or year after? How is our report on?
Emma's just actually said to you that this particular surface has a lifespan.
Yeah.
So
I'm not saying tell Emma said that.
So long and short of it, yeah, they will come to the end of their life at some point.
Yeah, so we will be looking at the other ones as well, won't we?
It's all going to be, unfortunately, we need to prepare ourselves that the bulk of that equipment, and including the EGMs, the toddler bit, and a few of the others, kind of all went in at the same time, because we've got flags and stuff. The problem with that is that it all starts breaking at the same time. So in the next couple of years, we're going to end up with some hefty bills.
Yeah.
But like Jason said, like, do you even need the wet port? Every other park has got grass or like that matting, haven't they, supposed to, because wet port, it looks lovely, you know, we sell it, yeah, it's really expensive, and it shrinks and it comes up. something. I don't know, do you want to do some more investigate, get people down and see what you want to put in there?
My gut feeling is that we probably need to do a little bit more work. It's absolutely imperative to make sure that the park is safe for children, right? That's a no-brainer. But is this the right move by just renewing this?
Possibly not.
Could there be an alternative
Yeah.
that is better, potentially cost saving, although really, cost really don't cross my mind in some ways, save the children concerned.
Because my second one then was to finish off on this. Should we be involving the new thing that's the Friends of the Park, what they wanted to put in there?
No.
Or are we just going to do this?
We will do this.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, thank you. Tony?
Yeah, I'll just temper, you know, it's my concerns about safety of children.
Yeah.
But what you're saying in relation is that the right survey, totally right, Chair, that, you know, we really need to make sure that what we're getting is fit for purpose. And I don't know, you know, I've been to Carsington, they've got that sort of system down, which I know is very protective for children falling. It's very, very good for that purpose because it protects the children more. But I don't know if I am talking about the wet pool being the ultimate item to go in there. I don't know, and I think that does need to be looked at.
Right. Again,
There's some urgency.
yeah, again, I think the council's consensus is that it needs to be replaced. Replaced with what? Is the... Sorry.
Can I just add, it's really a bit of a rock and hard stone here, aren't we? Because we obviously want to put cost and value for money, but we've also got the safety.
Yeah.
How unsafe do we think it is? Do we need to condemn it?
No, the reports it's classed as low, it's just like
Right.
a trip hazard, and if they did trip, they fall in the wet pool.
Yeah,
Obviously
yeah,
wet pool.
yeah.
So it isn't classed as like but obviously the more it shrinks and the more the kids sit there start falling over like they do.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing with that wet pool, you know, they like to, you know, I've got my nephew in this weekend, you know, just anything they can get their hands in, you know, in the fingers. But, you know, it will only have a lifespan. I'm just thinking, the other parts we've got, I've got like special netting that they're supposed to and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That hasn't got like, you know, that they've not got a 10-year lifespan, and we've touched wood, we've not had any problems with it, need and
No,
surfacing
no.
and, you know, the other parts. So you've got to think what.
We've
What's
got
to be
on
better?
the school holidays coming up, we've got 7 weeks, so it's going to be high usage. What sort of time frame do you think we've got realistically with it being unsafe?
You wouldn't get it. It's not like it's coming up in chunks, is it?
No.
It's not big gaps that you're
No,
going to
this
put your
isn't.
foot down. It's, you know, we're talking tiny bits. And even if you did sign it off tonight, I don't think you would get it done
No,
before some holidays anyway.
Before summer?
No.
Generally speaking, if I remember rightly, a low concern on the health and safety report would say about 6 months. You've got about
It's
6
long,
months.
yeah.
6 months.
Yeah,
They're
you've
basically
got,
the same monitor for
Yeah.
shrinkage.
you've got a sizable window, so you don't have to make a decision tonight.
You don't need to be worried that,
No,
right,
no.
I think that's...
We can maybe speak to,
Just as it deteriorates and
You know,
starts
people
to, it's
assess
something we
and
should
say,
be mindful
assess
of
the
and start
GP.
working towards.
Okay.
So is the action that amenities committee comes back with what surface they want?
That's actually a really good idea.
so,
Yeah, let's send this down to the amenities
push
committee.
back to amenities, yeah.
Yeah, and we'd like a report really from the amenities suggesting which surface they're choosing, why they're choosing it,
And how much?
how much,
And where?
And when, yeah.
and when.
When will be when we decide?
Because it's not like at the caravan
Is
site.
there a
where
date set
a lot
for
of them have
amenities
got
on
barbecue pits.
amenities?
There's no date set for anything.
Equipment when those 5 are available.
Do it now.
Trying to get the other ones.
So all in favour of that, by the way, yeah. So we should do that down to the amenities,
Yeah.
and we'll do a little bit more work. The amenities to support Emma on that one actually. So it all just be Emma. Right, okay, that's 27, 0903 is down to amenities. Okay, 27/096 to consider entering into an insurance rate stability agreement for the next 3 years and commissioning a desktop rebuild review of council properties. See the June papers. Who wants to open with this one? No? No, okay. So, well, I asked Jill to to bring this to the full council, because it affects this year's budget potential, next year's, and the year after. There are a few things that I would like to bring up. We pay just shy of £5,000 commission for the broker, and that's going up, I think, 7% this time, which I think is quite a sizable amount of money. I was going to ask, they get paid almost £5,000, and do they take commission from the insurance provider as well? There are
That sounds to a total budget of 28,500 for insurance.
so it doesn't cover because it's 27. So the budget's 28,000.
28,591. So that will have been set before we had the.
The quote, because the quote's going up by 20%. So
20%.
yeah, 20%.
And we had it on the bail,
And but they did want 30%, and it's been beaten down to 20%. So that's, I think the actual quote's up to 27,500. Yeah. And then with the commission on
I
top.
don't know if that includes that.
All right, okay.
I think it might do, you know, because he generally just tells us to.
The
You
figure.
should just tell us
it
the
tells
price,
us
don't
the
you?
figure,
Um,
yeah.
The only thing about it doesn't cover the potential
Is it one?
zip line. It doesn't cover that in that figure.
Is the zip wire going to go in this year?
We're in discussions with the Wolds Community Association.
So you can see that it might happen towards the end of the summer.
There's a chance.
Have they done that?
No, no.
I think we'll do well to get it before the end.
Well,
Don't Holmes councillors involved in this conversation.
no.
I'm just wondering whether it affects this year's budget or not. The insurance aspect of the zip wire.
There's a potential, yeah. There's a potential, yeah. There is potential. We have to open dialogue with the Wolds Community Association to see where things are going. But if the commission brings it to 27, then we're within budget. If it doesn't, then we're out of budget. Doesn't include the zip wire. Have we all read it?
How do you mean? I've read your piece of the piece of paper.
Right. So you've read the quote?
No, so I've read that one that you sent.
Right, okay.
I haven't seen a quote.
Have we always gone to this broker, Emma?
Yeah,
Yeah, the problem with, I haven't seen the quote this time because it's usually a booklet
It is.
and what have you. I've seen obviously previous ones because I've
Yeah.
dealt with them. As such, we've always used the same broker because it's a case of there is only certain companies, there's only about 3 that'll do it anyway. We are stuck between the devil and the dark blue sea syndrome and rock and a hard place, whatever you like to call it, with who they can get the insurance from for parish councils.
it's generally been at Aviva or AXA.
Yeah.
It's generally
Yeah,
been.
it is one of them.
It is specialist insurance.
Yeah, it is.
And
It is.
it is hard to get.
It is.
Yeah.
I remember when Liam was chairman and what have you, and I was vice chair, we were going around all sorts trying to find other places and they just don't do it.
Right, okay.
So we have used him, but obviously
Specialist market.
it's a specialist market, so
We're within budget. We have only got a particular window to accept as well. I believe. I think we've got.
Oh yeah, because you can't finish one.
Yeah.
we'll be out today.
Well, we've renewed for the first year.
Yeah, for this year.
So we are covered. But
Right.
the acceptance of the 3-year deal
Is
was only on the table for a number of for if
We
you're going
can,
to the
I mean,
right
we
time.
can still be cheeky, right, but.
What are your thoughts with it, Emma? Because you obviously deal with it.
Well, I just think they tried to put it up a lot this year, you know, certain things with the cost of everything nowadays, is it gonna be more financially beneficial to try and get in some locked in sort of prices, you know, costs, all of it,
Mm.
because then we'll be able to budget better, because you know exactly how much it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Because like Jason said, you know, they tried it on this year.
Well, they tried it
Jason
on a
said,
little
"Actually,
bit
come on,
last year,
mate,
because
it's-
we upped the cover.
Yeah, this is it. And it is expensive, you know, and everything's going up. And I just think if a budget point of view, it might be easier to try and manage if you're locked into 3-year deals. You just don't know what's happening.
There
do
should
you?
be limits
No.
on who you go with,
Indeed.
supply them. Not
The-
This is
the-
what I
the-
mean, they're all going to be a
The
budget.
principle of it, I agree with, because we have locked in previously with them to try and save money. The only trouble is when you come out of that lock-in, they suddenly whap it up a load and that, or
That's
they,
where your negotiation comes in.
That's where you- yeah.
That's what you're good at though, Emma.
Not when I just go.
They need- yeah, no.
well, the last time that had the arguments with them.
The
was
only
precise.
bit that bothered me was that he'd had almost, I think it was nearly £700 rise on his fee, which I thought was... Well, it has, but, you know,
The other place we know that
That's excess.
the other place we know that he does do round here, he does Blythe House. Because when he's usually here to see us, he goes to Blythe House on the same day. We're the two that he actually got in Chapel, so
right.
don't know whether theirs has gone up by the same amount.
Given it's one of the largest, items of the year,
Yeah.
it's over 6.5% of the precept.
Yeah.
I think we should try another broker.
What's available? Are you aware of who those others are? No.
How often do we go out and try something else?
I've not done it before. So, I mean, I can. I'm used to doing it next door because that's very specialist as well. And it's an absolute nightmare. So I can give it a whirl.
I think there's everything to be gained and nothing to lose by trying another broker, quite honestly.
I mean, we might lose this 3-year.
We might.
You have to be mindful about that, yeah.
We might,
But if they
or
want,
we might
they want
not.
business, then
They want business.
Yeah.
They want business. They want to play hardball, that's fine, let's play hardball. I think, I agree with you. We've got everything to gain and nothing to lose by this.
What do you think?
Originally, that was my thought process once I'd sat down and read through it properly. But I'm not a council. I'm a member of the council, so I was
I propose we actually look at pursuing an alternative broker and defer a decision until we've got more information.
Because even another broker might come up with the same companies he's come up with, because
They'll
it
come up
says
with
which
whatever they
the
come up with.
companies are in the
But we won't
booklet.
lose.
But we won't make any gain or
Look.
loss by that, will we? No.
We've lost nothing.
No.
I propose that we seek an alternative broker and we defer a decision on this until we've got further information, having tried an alternative broker.
Thank you very much. Seconded by Tony. All in favour of Mike's? All against? Who against?
I just think we should,
Pardon?
I think we should just stick with looking at it further about three-year contract signed in. We've got, everything's insured and, but I'm not bothered, it's majority vote, I'm not
Yeah.
bothered either.
You might be proving right, you might be proving right that we've gone that way, it's swings and roundabouts.
It's 50-50.
Yeah, okay.
There is the other way, you could just look at it, you could probably go for the 3-year with them, because how long is it going to take to find a new contract?
Yeah,
with a
advantage
broker?
to us.
I know, I'm just saying,
Well, we should have said at the time.
Yeah.
Well, okay, no.
Well, I'll try my
That's
best to
fine.
keep
Yeah,
this
okay, yeah.
3-year.
I mean, to be fair, they want the business.
Yeah, of course.
Then you're not going to walk away from it.
They're not.
And I mean, you just have to take a quick look now.
Sounds alright.
I thought all those reports were good, especially the ones that came with lots of quotes.
Yeah.
One improvement,
Is that only 5 minutes to read them when I get that? Yeah.
well, one other improvement is that in Acrobat you can combine files. So it'd be nice with the report and then all the quotes behind them in one file.
All right, okay.
Well, you've lost
So,
it,
so
yeah.
we've just before we finish, 27096, we've deferred for Anna to work on magic. And we didn't actually set a date, but we're covered for the next 4 months, aren't we?